The Mine Health and Safety Council is a national public entity. It aims to address issues affecting workers in the mining sector. Now, this week, a gathering will then be held under the theme Zero Harm in Our Lifetime. Mining safety always been a critical issue in South Africa. Let's speak now to the Health and Safety Council CEO, Dr. David Mamphitha. Dr. Mamphitha, very good afternoon. Well, good evening. Welcome to News at Prime. So, by August this year, there were reports that about 25 mine workers had died on duty, lower than the previous year. But is that, do you think, the correct metric in terms of measuring the safety of our mines?
Thank you very much, Tambekile, for having me. I think it is important to go back to the formation of the Mine Health and Safety Council, why it was formed, and the basis on which it was formed. So, looking back, the Mine Health and Safety Council was formed in terms of Act 29 of 1996. And during that time, we used to have a lot of fatalities. We were one of the highest in the world, about 800. And now, 25 years later, we are doing about 60. Yes, we're talking about people, but I think you can see that there is a tenfold improvement from the time that we were formed up to the time now that we are dealing with this issue. And obviously, from our side, we subscribe to a concept called Kaizen, which means it's continuous improvement. And the concept of zero harm is basically based on that. And moving forward, we believe that one day in our lifetime, we will definitely achieve zero harm. And zero harm means zero diseases, zero fatalities, and zero injuries, and also zero incidents.
So as I was saying, I referenced 25 deaths, by August of this year. When you look at what the Minerals Council of South Africa had said was that in 2021, about 2,000 workers had been injured on duty. You've also referenced another critical point, other diseases related to doing work in the mines. How involved, how committed are the mining houses to making sure that all of that is brought down, because they are part of what you do?
Yes, the Mine Health and Safety Council is actually a tripartite organization. The employer represented by the Minerals Council and the employees and also the state. So together, as a collective, we deal with the issues of zero harm. And you can see each one of these stakeholders is fully committed. And that is why on Thursday, the 13th and the 14th, all of us together as the principals and stakeholders, we're going to meet to discuss the way forward in terms of achieving zero harm. We have set ourselves certain goals, which were set in 2014, and we're going to do a review of that to see how far we have gone in terms of those milestones. And this covers both health and safety. And we're also going to deal with any other emerging risks, for example, COVID-19. Obviously, it caught everybody by surprise. But in terms of commitment, all the stakeholders, the employer, the employees, the state, we are fully committed to achieving zero harm. And we believe that even though this target is aspirational, but it is definitely achievable.
You say aspirational. Achievable, many would say, is questionable when you consider the way in which things continue to work in the mines, especially now with more and more people saying the mining industry, they allege, is cutting corners in order to maximize profits.
No, there is no employer who cuts corners in order to maximize profit. In fact, as one of our milestones and one of our commitment is that each one of the employers will have zero harm as their target. And also remember that in the Act, there is a section or a clause which deals with the ability and the employees being empowered to refuse to do any dangerous work. So there is actually a balance in terms of employees saying, well, if it is not safe, we can actually continue.
Are you saying, sir, that unions have been wrong when they've said it? I mean, I remember last year, I think it was a Sibanye operations, where we were on the air as it emerged that workers had been trapped underground in the mine work. Mining unions were saying, well, they were not surprised that it was happening because things were not being done according to the standard when it comes to health and safety. Are you saying that's not true entirely across the sector?
I think one thing I can assure you is that each one of us, including the state, including employers and including employees, are committed to zero harm. That one we are all sure about. And we work every day and night to achieve zero harm. And that's why when I gave you the statistics, You can see 25 years ago, it was 600 to 800, and now we're dealing with about 60. So that on its own, it shows you that each one of us is committed, and none of us can actually achieve this alone.
What's your level of commitment now to the ongoing conversation about illegal mining companies not disposing of old shafts where they've extracted all the minerals in accordance with the law?
Yeah, I think we need to separate two things, right? There are miners who are legally doing their work, whether they're small or big, and they're illegal miners. So the concept or the issue of illegal miners is actually pure criminal activity, and nobody condones that. And any criminal activity needs to be dealt with by the law enforcement agencies. But on our side, when we regulate mines that have got the licenses and they've got the license to operate, and legitimately so, we obviously make sure that they subscribe to the concept of zero harm.
Thank you very much for your time, sir. David Mamphitha, who is the Health and Safety Council CEO. Thank you for your time.